Oh, wow. Okay, that is crazy. I'm not sure what episode number we're at, but I think we may have more toy factories than we made episodes thus far. Alright, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to another episode on Rise of Industry with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our industrial empire out here in Rise of Industry. So, in the last episode, we finally got all this stuff out here rolling for us. We had set up a bit of a toy factory production line where we're making dolls. All the front end of everything, all the farms needed, all the water needed. And, well, now things are about spooling up. You can see that the toy factories for final production are still missing their goods, of course, but that is due to these toy factories still just getting spooled up, so those goods will come in no time. And then very soon we will start selling out our first bits of dolls, which is going to be great and absolutely awesome. I'm very happy about it, but we've already kind of, in the last episode, identified a bit of potential for technically getting another 2 factories going for making even more dolls, because with a bit more in the front end, given the overhangs that we have from some of these factories that are making like the dye and the light fabric or the fibers and all, we could already push all these resources into those doll factories and make even more money, be more efficient, and well, you know, just have overall more goods to sell. So that's very nice, and I think we'll start looking at that today. Potentially already setting up a good bit of the front end too. We'll have to see where we are in terms of money. We do of course still have that PR event going on, which does give us a bigger bit of a discount to get things going, but well, we're down to 2.24 million, so it will still be a tight fit nonetheless, so we may have to actually go and let the game make us some money too. So very much looking forward to that. In any case though, if you're new around here, if you happen to enjoy this very episode, please make sure to smash that subscribe button right down below. It would mean the absolute world to me. We are currently headed for 1k subs, and every single person truly does help out a ton. With that out of the way though, let's go and get right back into the topic. So, as previously stated, we've got these 2 textile factories up here, and you can see we're making 4 units of dye every 30 days, right? Then we've got this textile factory right here, which only uses 1 unit of dye. 1 unit every 30 days to make the fabric, well, the light fabric, for both of these toy factories. As you can see, we're needing 2 units, we're making 2 units, so that covers that. So basically, I mean, with this we could feed another 4 textile factories, right? We're only going to do another 1, well, another 3. We're only going to do another 1, because of course we can only do another 2 doll factories. That's kind of the max demand that we have on the map for dolls. We only really have this, like, not the hardware, the toy store out here in Panowitz that demands them, and to my knowledge there's not really any other stores anywhere on the map that would demand them. So that's kind of where we headed for, and then maybe in the future we can use the rest of the dye for something else, like, you know, potentially Easter eggs, something along those lines. But one way or another, so we would need another textile factory right here, and let's just kind of try and tally this up a bit, while maybe also we kind of speed things up and try and make some extra money, like that, I guess. 3 mil looks a lot better. We'll keep it at that for a minute. I don't quite know. There's no real indication of how long this PR event is going to be running for, so ideally we don't want to speed up time too much before we start, before we lose our 54% discount in factory costs, because that's of course quite essential in this massive expansion drive that we're on at the moment. So, looking at this then, 1 textile factory, as we previously said. In terms of the fibers, you can see that we would already be making enough, so we don't really need more cotton input, albeit that would may be debatable. We will have to see just how much we're making right here. We have got 2 cotton per field, no water in the cotton field, it seems, or maybe it's just, no, I think it's just started a production cycle now. So 2 cotton per field. We do have, is this 3 fields or is it 4? Because that's a bit, didn't we have a max of like 3 fields? Did we research that in order to, I think we may have raised the field limit here in the past. Have we? Where do I see my fields? 0 units, 0 per day, 0 units. Where do I say? Okay, well, I mean, these are all cotton fields. So I guess we've got 4 fields, which means that we would be making 8 cotton every 30 days. Now, out here we're using 2. Then in the stuffing factory, we're using 1. And that's it. I mean, we're technically using 2. So we're using 4 units of cotton. And that seems to be it. Are we moving the cotton anywhere else? Let's maybe check that out too. Destinations. Evidently not. And, well, all the cotton goes to the toy factory. So we do have more than enough cotton to be using right here. So not to be worried about that. Plantations, we're fine. So this, we need another one off. Let's pull that to the right when we need that. Toy factory. These ones, we definitely need one of those for more stuffing. Unless we've got 4 units of stuffing every 30 days. We are using 1 unit of stuffing every 30 days per doll factory, right? So we're making enough stuffing in theory as well. For another 2 doll factories, we wouldn't even need that. I thought at the end of the last episode that we were going to need that, but evidently I was quite mistaken there. So that is nice. The thing is, we can still use the cotton for some on-top stuffing factories, I think. I'm not quite sure if we had them still going down here, but I do remember that we rebuilt a lot of things in order for making teddy bears, so I'm not quite sure if we still have any overheads there. As you can see, we kind of have 0 store, but the month also just started, so I'm not entirely sure. Maybe if you check out this warehouse and check the outgoings for stuffing. I mean, these are all the automated outgoings. We do technically send some out. How many, we will have to check when the month actually progresses a bit. Because potentially with the on-top cotton that we have up here, we could go get another 1 or 2 toy factories going, just sell stuffing straight out to that toy store down there, so we can make some extra money on that. But okay, so basically we would just need like 2 toy factories, right, for the dolls. We would need 1 textile factory, which already has all the inputs going for it. And that's it? It seems so easy, you know? I thought we required more investments and more time in setting this up. But if this is literally it, that should be quite easy. Another topic still being the whole pollution topic right here. You know, the trees are already dying everywhere. So I do hope that they can somewhat manage to confine all that CO2, as I was promised. Because if they don't, we very urgently will quickly need a bit of a air purifier. So, you know, that'll be interesting. We'll have to, whoopsies. We will have to go and keep that in mind. But for the time being, let's go to factories. Let us go and build another textile factory, which we may as well put up here, where the rest of them are, I guess. This very textile factory, rather, will then make light fabric. Boom. Cool? Cool. So, got enough fibers coming in. We've got enough dye coming in. That's all good. That's all set. Let us go and check the destinations. That's sending out to the warehouse, which is beautiful. And do you already have an auto connection out to my new textile factory going to? Should be number 4. There it is. There is number 4. All already connected. Nothing to be worried about. Beautiful. In terms of the berries and all, we should, by the way, be absolutely fine. Do you have a lot of berry fields? Admittedly. Were we selling the rest of those just somewhere? Yeah. Okay, we're just selling whatever overheads we have, I guess. Making that a little cheaper to run for us. So that's fine. I'm sure we can use that for other stuff in the future. Or, you know, I don't know how much dye we will even need for Easter eggs. So, you know, could be that we will be able to utilize some of that money there. Now, textile factory is set up. Honestly, quite cheap. Just like 200k, I think. Which, you know, thank you so much, PR event. Absolutely loving that. We're building so much stuff for so little money. It is awesome. We will, on the contrary, also have to repay those loans that we took out in order to go for this massive expansion boost at some point. But for the time being, honestly, you gotta admit, this is quite great indeed. So, second set of factories, though, that we will need is going to be a bunch of toy factories. So, can we squeeze those in right there? It kind of feels like it. Let me put one there. And, oh, the more important question would be, yeah, so that stays in the range of this warehouse, which is beautiful. We will have to hope, really, that we don't have, like, massive, crazy congestion here now going on with the trucks, and this can all still somewhat be managed by one single warehouse. I really hope that will work out for us. We will have to wait and see on that topic, I suppose. Also, another topic being that we do, of course, have the stuff going out to the toy store, farmer's market, and warehouse 1 partially as well, which is, I think, some wool that we made up here because we didn't have space remaining anywhere else, and we need that for the teddy bears. So we'll have to keep a bit of a closer eye on that too. Maybe eventually we will need some zeppelins like we implemented down there to kind of manage and hopefully not overload the entire thing too much in terms of like logistics and like having huge traffic jams and stuff. Again, that was absolutely terrible. I would like to avoid that happening once more. I've got the feeling that with this current setup we should still be somewhat fine, but of course, I mean, we do have some space here, so we are evidently going to add more stuff in the future, you know, maybe centered around all that Easter egg production, so that could end up causing problems for us. Now, I've got way too many windows open, so let's just go and close them all down. So we've got a bit of an overview again, and then we will of course have to set these toy factories to making dolls for us. So that's the plan right there. Should all be working fine. Let me go and check the ins and the outs. So we've got the outgoing product here, which is 22 and 23. We've got 23 toy factories already. Oh wow. Okay, that is crazy. I'm not sure what episode number we're at, but I think we may have more toy factories than we made episodes thus far. So, toys evidently being a very, very hard core focus field of ours right there. But, Toy Factory 22, Toy Factory 23, all being beautifully delivered to, and those, of course, will have their destinations kind of auto-set. Just like that. Beautiful. So that should be good to go. Let's have things spool up a bit. Even these toy factories, what are you complaining about? There's still these arrows out here, but I don't have any alerts down there. I guess they just disappeared because everything got delivered. These guys, not quite yet, evidently, because the textile factory does need to catch up on the job a bit. So that'll have to get going. Should be slowly but surely working though. You can see just how congested the traffic got down there, but overall I suppose it's still working somewhat fine. Now the pollution is becoming a bit of an issue, honestly speaking, and these toy factories are also very close to about everything else with no real trees being in the way there, so we will have to see if this actually works out the way that we had hoped. You can see just how many trees are dying. So kind of am having my doubts, but we'll see. Now, honestly, did you just see that down there? Did we just make... Okay, we made a mill... No. Were we not at a mill just then? Made, and then, like, something mega crazy came in? So, overall, I mean, if we look at the balance, you could see if we take out the loans from the equation, which we will have to pay off eventually, of course, we're still at 338k, which is quite good in my mind. I'm rather happy with that. We could be making more. I would want to make more. But for a start, pretty happy with it. Vehicle upkeep. Jesus Christ, the logistics costs are insane. The logistics costs are truly insane. You've got to keep in mind that we have already done a good few investments into logistics in order to, you know, make things more efficient and carry more and all. So, oof. But okay. I mean, that is what it is. I guess we'll get some products sold. We'll get some other stuff done. Now, the PR event is still around, which is great. We only have 2 mil, which is not quite as great. Let us, though, look at our future opportunities. This all, I think, we can kind of just check off as somewhat done for now, except for the, you know, this kind of backlog right here, which isn't great, but should hopefully be fixed in a bit too. What we want to look at, though, is, of course, already kind of what our next project is going to be. So, The deal is right here that something along these lines, like Easter eggs and marbles, would maybe be a bit of an option if we did get the right stuff researched. There is also toy furniture. No, we're making that. We're making toy furniture, we're making wooden terrains, and these require steel, which we don't have. Other than that, we're pretty much already supplying everything. I mean, we're supplying bears, dolls, wooden terrains, toy furniture, stuffing. It's quite mad, honestly. We're fulfilling so many demands. And Panowitz, you know, is nicely growing. Town's prosperity is prospering, which is beautiful. But it will probably take a bit of time till that thing reaches the next level, I suppose. Village, heavy industrial. just a bit of industry, you know, just a tad bit. At least we've got an air purifier down there. Up here it doesn't look quite as good, does it? Oh god, I mean, look at all these other... I mean, you know, these guys are polluting the area right there quite badly too, and it seems to be working without an air purifier, given how far away from the city it is and how far away from any farm it is. So maybe it'll work for us too. I think the crucial part is going to be that we keep this far enough away from the farms. If the farms are going to have to close, then we're going to need an air purifier. But for now, you know, maybe a bit of a way to at least save ourselves a tad bit of costs. Now, I do quickly want to look around here with you all just to see if any sort of towns have developed any on-top needs for us that maybe could be interesting to us, but everything still seems quite basic. The only part here being the construction store in Webams, which would be a bit of an alternative, I suppose. Now, the thing with Webams is, I don't know, we don't have to have a permit, I think, in order to sell to the store. So you would have to have a permit, though, in order to actually set up some proper operations in Webams. So, really squished that in right there next to the Webams area. I just noticed that. But yeah, I mean, Webams, what does Webams have? It does have coal, fish. I don't know if you can even get a permit, so to speak, if a different company has it. Usually those permits get auctioned off, and usually they're also quite crazy expensive, so that's a bit of an issue. But we will have to look at other regions at some point, because honestly, we do need some more space to expand, and since they're already all kind of a bit taken, except for Halle, which I think when that comes up, we kind of need to take it. The important question would be, will we be able to afford it, which I think is quite debatable. We'll have to find out about that when we get there, I guess. But, okay, let's kind of look at this. I mean, these goods I already have in mind, what we have here in Panowitz in the toy store. And then we've got these construction goods, so we should kind of just maybe look around and see what's based on the current materials that we have, we can produce, and what we can branch out to, what we can go and research. Our paper roll, honestly, being a pretty decent option, I guess. We've got concrete glassworks. This requires sand, which is an interesting thing, because I think we require sand also, well, and glass, of course, for the marbles, which I have not got a clue where in the world you could extract sand on this map, to be honest. Then we have ink, which requires coal. What do we have? We had gas, copper, oil, right? Yeah, so ink is not an option. Coal would be here. Not able to build there. We've got furniture bases. Carpentry center requires wooden planks. We could do that. Do we have wooden planks? What are we making down here? We had some lumber yards, right? These are making wood. Just like straight out wood, okay. So, I mean, we could get some more lumber yards like going in this area, make that, if that's not too complicated. Paper mill. So, I mean, there's a lot of things, honestly, around like wood and water. Maybe we should consider supplying to some of these things. I think that may be a good option. Question being, can I at least build streets in areas that I don't have a permit in? Let me try. Evidently. Okay, so that would be an option. And we could just, you know, have a lumberyard here and then go sell out to there. It's a bit of a ways to go, but, you know, in general possible. You could also just have like a train going, which is probably even the easier way than having trucks going all the way. So a bunch of options there. Sand, I really don't know how to get sand. Okay, let's go have a look at the tech tree and scheme out our next option. So we have carpentry. Carpentry would require wooden planks first, which we could probably make not all too... It wouldn't be all too difficult, I think. Furniture bases we could make. I'm not sure if we could make L and S or only some, but you know, there would be some options right there. Does cost a bit to research. A bit more money than we have, but you know, with the income that we're having overall, I guess it would be possible. We also probably want to somewhat look at the duration of research. This is also somewhat important. Well, I mean, it's kind of tied to the cost, right? But it's somewhat important for us because the faster we can research it, the better, honestly, at this point, given that we still have that 54% PR discount. We should certainly take that into account. Now, heavy pulp seems to be quite quick and easy. Paper rolls, quick and easy. Well, these we can't make. All this, I think, wasn't required yet. So we could at least make some of these bits happen quite quickly, which I'm kind of tempted by. We do also have glass right here, which does need coal anyways. We don't have coal, so I guess glass and marbles are not going to be an option for us. We do have paint, which would require chemicals, which I think the chemicals were the thing that we were going to make from gas, wherever petrochemical is at. Yes. Wow. Okay. I mean, no, paint is kind of the same category, but evidently, I mean, that's a bit of a more complicated setup, which I'm happy to go for, but it is probably going to take so long as to the point that we couldn't use this for our own benefit anymore. Well, the PR event for our own benefit anymore, so that's a bit of an issue. You know, I think in the future we're probably going to make Easter eggs, especially given that we do want to use up that paint. Also, not quite sure what's that supposed to be. What's this bottle? Is that milk? No, right? What's that? This, oh, plastic. Well, fair. I mean, plastic we can make. We've got oil, we've got gas. Shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. So yeah, I mean, really want to make Easter eggs. Really not going to make them just yet. I think we're going to focus on the paper mill stuff, because this is something that we can get going quickly and rather easily. Now, the question being, it's both made at the paper mill. So, I mean, I can't really decide where to go, right? Issue being, I guess I need to research any of the products to build the factory. But the issue being that I can't see the production cycle. So one thing may be producing quicker than the other, but another thing may be more profitable than the other. So we kind of would have to weigh those things against each other, which without having both researched, I can't really do. So that's a bit of an issue. But what I can see is that paper rolls are in higher demand than heavy pulp, and we would make a tad bit more money with them. Well, per unit. So I'm thinking that may be the way to go for now. We'll give that a try, and hopefully it's going to be the right decision. So let's go to the tech tree. Let's go and research paper rolls. Should only take 12 days, so that is very, very quickly spooled by. And then we can have a look, I hope. Now, that is something. Price of fish. Plus 43%. Well, I'm not fishing, so I don't even think we've got a region where we can fish. Fish would be in other regions like here, so that's not even an option. We are going to quickly zoom past that one. Waterworth. Apparently they want to sell air fish. Do they have any fish? Why did they bid for that? I don't think they're fishing. They're not even fishing. What in the world? That doesn't make much sense, does it? Anyways, don't need to understand all the things in the world, I guess. So there we go, though, on the R&D being done, and we made a beautiful, swift 500k of estimated sales to shops. Oh, right. So you made a beautiful, swift nothing thus far, but there's going to be a bunch more sales coming, I'm sure. So overall, hopefully going to be fine. In general, though, last month's balance, 338k, quite happy with that. We are a bit up, so we do have some extra budget. Now, what I would like to do is place a paper mill somewhere and see just how much money we can make from that. The one thing that kind of just springs to mind is that we probably need some more water, which we are a bit low on, honestly speaking. But is that all? Oh no, that's winter. Okay, winter is coming. Winter is coming. I thought this was all already polluted, but luckily the pollution seems to have somewhat constrained itself, so that's something. But we will go and build a paper mill somewhere down there. Somewhere. I feel like we may do it like this so it's still in the range of the warehouse. We could probably use like this area for industrial purposes. Then we've got forest up here, which, you know, we can plant some more so we can get some more lumber yards going. You can have some more forest down there, and attached to the warehouse we'll have a train station which will kind of go through here in order to sell in that neighboring region. So I feel like we'll do something a little like this. Can turn that off for now, so we don't have to pay any maintenance. And now we can see. So paper rolls take us 15 days. 2 units of wood per 15 days. So we would need 4 a month. Which, let me check back at my other lumber yards just how quickly they're producing 6 a month. So we could basically make like 2 lumber yards and feed 3 paper mills with it. That means we would be making 6 units of paper roll, which wouldn't quite fill the demands up here. But I feel like it's the better option over having like another... Well, we could have another lumber yard with 2, but I don't know. And then on top of that, you have to kind of also keep in mind that we don't have infinite amounts of like knock trees down space, right? There's only some forest here, and or maybe a little forest down there that we can still tap, and we will even already have to put seeds in there to kind of up the efficiency of the lumberyard. So we're already somewhat limited there as is, and yeah, I think we kind of have to keep that in mind. So I think the plan for now is we're going to build 3 paper mills then. We're going to build 2 lumber yards, and we're going to make paper rolls. And then on top of that, you know, there's also still the heavy pulp, which is going to be another thing that we can technically make money off of. It's kind of a bit lower profitability. As you can see, it's the same input, so good thing we chose paper rolls. But, you know, that's another option right there that we haven't even tapped into yet. So that would require another 2 lumber yards and another 3 paper mills, which would already kind of probably massively overstrain our potential right here. But we'll see more about that then in the next episode, I think. So we'll get back then and build all our 3 paper mills, all our 2 lumber yards, get the whole cycle going. Also get some more water coming in, of course, because we will need that. Luckily, the demand for water isn't that crazy right here, so let's see, maybe we can still squeeze enough water pumps, water siphons in there to get that going for us. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And, well, when all that's out of the way, we'll be hopefully getting another production cycle going, getting a train out to Webams or whatever it was. Webams, indeed. And selling that off at the construction goods store so we can make even more money and hopefully use that PR event to an even better extent. It's going to be quite a strain for budget at this point because we're really low on money, but hopefully we can make it work for ourselves. But that all and more we will take care of in the next episode. For today, I'm going to finish it off right here. I hope you all very much enjoyed it, of course. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button right down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.